Hi guys, I'm back after, about a month. I'm finally back to watching movies and playing video games, which, is what I normally do. Sorry, I kind of felt like I had to take a break from YouTube. I just had way too much going on with school, work, and other stuff, so yeah. Anyway, it is review time, and today we are talking about the sequel to the 2018 movie Venom. Venom, Let There Be Carnage. I gotta say, this movie actually wasn't all that bad, to be honest. Now, going into this movie, I didn't really have all that much expectations, even though I felt like I should have. Carnage is actually probably my favorite Spider-Man villain, so I was kind of surprised that I wasn't really expecting a lot from this movie. But overall, I did kind of like this movie, but it was also pretty weird. One thing to mention right off the bat is that this movie is 1 hour and 37 minutes long, which is incredibly short, which kind of leads to some strange pacing issues within the movie, especially considering the fact that there's only one time in the entire movie where Venom and Carnage actually interact, and that this means that a lot of characters don't really have as much to do or just kind of have as much going on as they did in the last movie, which to some people may seem like, I don't know, a bit of a deal breaker. It kind of felt like Eddie, Venom, and I guess Cletus Cassidy were really the only people, if you want to call Venom a person, that actually had stuff going on. And really, there was only one section of this that was super entertaining to watch. It's kind of weird because there's kind of a civil war going on between Venom and Eddie Brock, and that just isn't really what I wanted to see from this movie. I really wanted to see Carnage and a lot of Carnage, but we don't really get as much of Carnage in this movie as I was hoping for. I mean, we still get a lot, and you get to see Carnage in his full destruction mode with absolute chaos going on in the film. But I don't know, I guess I would have just preferred to see more, especially considering that Carnage is such a cool villain and just you can do so much with him. But instead he just kind of works as whatever Cletus Cassidy wants to do, which it's fine, but it's also kind of weird. And like I said earlier, there is kind of an Eddie Brock Venom civil war going on, and it's not really motivated by a lot, and it isn't really paced all that well. It's super fast paced, and since the movie is so short, it feels like they get together again pretty quickly. And also, it doesn't really help that Venom doesn't really have the best voice acting, which is fine, but again does feel kind of weird in some scenes. It's also especially weird because, I don't know, Venom just doesn't really work all that well without Eddie Brock. I like the two kind of fighting with each other, but them being separate entities just didn't really work in this movie, and honestly made the pacing feel even weirder. But I don't know, I kind of still like this movie. I still found it to be a lot of fun. There's a lot going on, and well, I definitely think that there were some missed opportunities in it. I did actually really like the final battle. The final battle is actually really cool. It's chaotic and honestly takes itself way too seriously. But it kind of does that as a joke, and I kind of appreciate it for that. But yeah, that's kind of my full takes on this movie. It's really enjoyable, pretty chaotic, and I mean, kind of silly in some ways. I wish that this movie was longer, but they're obviously setting up some other stuff as evident in the post-credit scene, which if you didn't already know, I guess I'm not going to spoil it for you. But yeah, the movie itself, very entertaining, really cool. Wish Carnage was in it more, but I don't know, I can't really complain too much. I enjoyed myself while watching it, and honestly, I wouldn't mind seeing more of this character. Though I do wish, and this is going to be a spoiler, I am spoiler right here, but they do end up killing off Carnage at the end of this movie, and I think that this was a missed opportunity. I really think that Carnage could have been used a lot more in future sequels. It kind of feels wasted. Like, could you imagine Tom Holland's Spider-Man meeting with Carnage? Pretty cool. But yeah, that's my take on this movie. It was good, could have been better, but also could have been worse. So I'm going to give it the, I guess, above average score of a 6 out of 10.